from what she said, everything points to a backstairs romance on Buddy's part. But it's pretty obvious that she was playing him for a sucker.
And he must have found out.
Maybe. And maybe there's a lot more to it than that.
I can't believe that. He's such a nice boy.
Yeah. Well, come on. I think it's time we all turned in.
I'll get it. Yeah?
I've come to see the lawyer.
Oh. Well, come on in.
You remember me, Ollie Patton? You helped me when I got pulled in for being drunk?
Oh, well, it's pretty late, Ollie. Can't it wait until morning?
I think this shot Frisco Rose. Somebody threw it away in the alley right after she got shot.
Did you see who it was?
All I seen was a shadow running away.
Oh. Well, you should have left it for the sheriff, Ollie. This way it's not much good as evidence.
Well, why not? Maybe they can prove it was Buddy's.
No, he can claim somebody stole it, and then it becomes his word against Ollie's. And whose word do you think the jury's going to take?
Then Miller's still the only one who can...
Finish it, Heath. The only one who can put a rope around Buddy's neck.
Mother, the silver doesn't need polishing. Silas did it last week.
I'm doing it again.
But why? Mother, you didn't sleep at all last night. Why don't you go upstairs?
Because I feel like polishing silver.
Well, then I'll help.
I don't want any help, Audra. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Mrs. Barkley? I hope I didn't alarm you. Ned Sprague, reporter for the Oakland Bulletin.
I don't like unannounced visitors, Mr. Sprague. Please leave the same way you came in.
Polishing the silver? That's what my mother used to do when she had a problem. It is a problem, isn't it? Having it in your power to send a friend's only son to the gallows?
Will you please leave, or must I call my sons?
All I'm trying to do, Mrs. Barkley, is get something for my readers. Don't they have a right to the facts?
Heath!
I've heard Judge Tyrone is one of your oldest and dearest friends. How does he feel now?
Heath,
What did he say
Jerry!
when you accused? Now, what did you want to do that for? I'm only trying to do my job.
What is it, Miller?
Heath, get him out of here.
Some of you reporters never learn, do you?
Take your hand off me, cowboy.
What was that all about?
Some reporter bothering Mother.
There'll be others, other reporters, solicitors, friends. There's no escaping them.
It's impossible to protect you from that kind of thing.
You'll feel better if you get out in the sunshine. What do you say I hitch up the buggy?
Mother, I know you're exhausted. Why don't you take a nap?
No, what I'd really like to do is to get away from here. Take the train to Sacramento. I know. I could visit Minnie Grant. She's a good enough friend, and she won't ask questions.
You have to testify at the inquest day after tomorrow.
But I'll only stay overnight. I'll be back tomorrow morning.
Why not?
You're right. Why not?
That's a wonderful idea, and I'll go with you.
Audra, dear, I'd like to be alone for a while. Please understand.
I'll be back.
You admit you got it from a drunk who says he found it in an alley. You call that evidence?
I found this in your son's closet when we searched your house. It fits Mrs. Barkley's description of what the killer wore.
Mrs. Barkley. So it all boils down to Victoria's preposterous accusation, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Come to see your son. The boy hasn't said a word since he was arrested. Be better for him if he was to, well, cooperate.
You mean confess, don't you? Well, how could he? He's innocent. Buddy?
Dad. Dad, forgive me.
There's nothing to forgive, son. You're an innocent victim in all this. Now, don't let it get you down. Do you understand? I know how these mistakes can happen. It was dark in that alley. The man resembled you. Same age, same size. Victoria thought it was you. Well, she wanted it to be you.
Wanted?
I know. We've known each other all these years. But it happens. She must have harbored some deep resentment for some reason.
Dad, don't. Don't make it any worse. I killed that woman. Don't blame anyone but me.
What did you say?
Dad, I killed her.
Buddy, tell me.
I met her one afternoon down by the river. I didn't know who or what she was. Later, it didn't matter to me. I loved her, and I thought that she loved me.
When you found out she didn't, you felt you had to kill her?
It wasn't like that. It was you she was after. She planned the whole thing to get back at you. She hated you for putting her in the workhouse.
What did she want? Money?
She wanted to ruin your career. She had some letters I'd written. Presents and things. She used them like a shotgun to force me to marry her, and if I refused, she threatened to expose our affair. She said the headlines would read, Jezebel and the Judge's Boy. Either way, it would make you a laughingstock. I tried to reason with her, but the more I begged, the more she laughed. I never saw her like that. Ugly, vicious, gloating. God help me, I shot her. Would you stay with me while I tell the sheriff?
No. I don't want you to tell anyone.
Dad?
No! No, not for my sake, for yours. None of this is your fault, son. It was all that woman's. So why should you pay for her vindictiveness? She brought it all on herself.
Aunt Victoria saw what happened.
It's only her unsupported word. And that may not even be enough for the grand jury to indict. Believe me, son, I know what I'm talking about.
I don't understand. You were always such a stickler for the letter of the law.
Yes, but not when it conflicts with justice. Good boy. Now, not a word. And don't lose your courage.
Tea for Mrs. Buckley.
Oh, thank you. You shouldn't have bothered. You blame me, don't you?
It is not for a servant to blame friend of his master.
I understand. I know how loyal you are to the judge.
Indeed, his son is as my son.
Bring me a whiskey.
I was at the depot waiting for the train. I heard Buddy had been arrested.
Well, what else did you expect? I'm sorry, Victoria. I know how difficult this must be for you.
George, I don't know what to do.
You'll do your duty.
Well, I was hoping you could help me. You've always been able to see your way out of any dilemma with such clarity and assurance.
Clarity and assurance. Victoria, the whole world's turned upside down. I always set such high standards for the boy. His mother and I both agreed on that. He never once failed to toe the mark.
Perhaps you made him toe the mark a little too closely. Isn't it possible he never learned how to cope with situations and people who don't obey your strict rules?
Are you holding up your own sons as paragons of virtue? Nick has brawled in every saloon in the country, and Jared finds clients among the most unsavory elements.
Well, I think they could deal with Frisco Rose without killing her.
Buddy did not kill her. I think it's only fair to warn you that your account of this affair won't go unchallenged.
Well, I'm sorry. I guess it was I guess I made a mistake in coming here.
You made your mistake the other night. You're going to find out that my son is more important to me than anything on this earth. Anything. Including old friendships. And I'll do anything in my power to keep you from harming him.
George, I didn't mean to harm him. All I wanted to...
Victoria. Victoria.
The tea give